Hi everyone, it's Kate. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. You're wondering probably why I'm so dressed up. As you guys do know, I just came back from a photo shoot. I do some like modeling stuff. And by modeling, I mean I just like help photographers build their brand, kind of. So, anyways, today is September 2nd, and I want to talk about something really personal. And that is my experience filing a restraining order in California. I know this is a sensitive subject, but I also know how many people are scared or unprepared because they have to go to court. So I wanted to share my story, what I learned, why, even though my request was denied, I still have wins in this experience, okay? So when I filed, I thought like I was ready to go. I had a thick ass, thick ass packet of evidence. I practiced what I was gonna say, but when the judge started like questioning and everything, my nerves kicked in. My voice got shaky. I blanked on things I had written down, and I didn't get to say everything I wanted to. Of course, you remember everything afterwards. Like, come on, man. I was ready. Like I did meditation, manifestation. I burned a fucking candle. I had fucking crystals right here. Okay, whatever. But that's normal. Court is overwhelming, and being nervous does not mean you're weak. It just means that you're an actual human being. Yay. Okay. But here's like what the judge really wanted to focus on, and that was the harm. Specifically direct harm by the other party. I will not be naming any names in this video. So if the shoe fits, wear it. And that was difficult for me only because what I experienced was done through other people for her. Okay. And the judge was asking, what did she do? But she is responsible for the harm. However, all contact was done through a third party. Therefore, it made it a little complicated for me, right? This person directly did this to they kind of did, but they had other people do their dirty work so they could keep their hands clean, right? If your situation doesn't fit in that exact legal box, they may not grant the restraining order, even if what you went through was real and painful, okay? Because my PCP said I need to stop losing weight. So because of this other party, I have experienced loss of appetite, loss of sleep, anxiety attacks, panic attacks, financial abuse, emotional distress. But like I said, I'm not naming any names in the video. If the shoe fits, wear it. In the end, the judge denied my request, and honestly, that that hurt. I said, I did positive thinking, manifesting, scripting, burning candles, incense, and everything. Like, I had my planned day to celebrate my win because I'm like, everything should work out in my favor. I wanted validation and protection on that paper. But what I've come to realize, thanks to so many other people, because I had therapy today too. Thankfully, I had therapy today because I don't know how I managed to plan it like that. I was going to tell my therapist that I won. And it turns out that I actually kind of did. Because even in this loss, there are wins, and everything happens for a reason. So, here's what I mean by the wins. Number one, I proved to myself that I was brave enough to fight just by filing, showing up, and telling my side of the story was a victory. Even if I appeared remotely, at least I had the guts to not drag someone with me to the courthouse because I can't do shit alone, right? Second, not having that TRO or just the restraining order actually protected me. Because if it had been granted, the other party could have filed motions, right? Or they could have accused me of violating it. Even though I am a homebody, I'm home like 25/8. I am a homebody now. They would have made some bullshit up. They're very good at that to say that I violated it. But since there's nothing in place, what am I gonna violate, right? So now I'm actually not tied to them legally. Third, this actually helps me in bigger battles because now I can tell people, as I'm telling you guys under the First Amendment, like I have the right to speak about my experience. Things got so serious that I filed for a restraining order. Whether it was granted or not does not erase that fact that I've filed for a restraining order. Fourth, a little petty one, because you're on Geet's channel and Geet is petty. Okay, fourth. It wasted their time. They had to sit there and deal with it. Even though, like, we had the result that we did, they still had to, you know, drive and waste their gas and waste their time to do it. And I didn't even like realize that until like session. And I was like, oh, no, did not think about that at all. Like dead ass. Did not think about that. And the fifth one is, you know, they didn't get a chance to defend themselves, which means my case was actually not beaten by them. Okay, it was the judge's decision. They didn't even get a chance to speak, so it was not denied by them. Number 6. Now I know what to expect in case, God forbid, but in case there's a next time. I'll be calmer because I've already gone through it. I know what to expect. I know what I need to do. And I know, you know, bullet points, not long notes, because I did long notes and no. Okay, bullet points. 7th, this process has forced me to document everything, which is actually going to strengthen, like, you know, God forbid that if it ever happens again, but it's going to strengthen anything moving forward, right? And finally, the 8th, number 8 makes one team. And finally, oh, that was AT's K-pop reference for those of you guys that don't know why I said that. That is AT's is 8 makes one team. Okay, I don't have a team of people. The other party has a team of people because she can't take me alone. Okay, and that's why she can't even show up to a courtroom alone. But anyways, like I said, I'm not naming any names. If the shoe fits, wear it. And finally, sometimes the universe just redirects us. Maybe. Okay. So I want to make one thing very clear because a lot of people are scared to talk about their cases online. But under United States law, I have the First Amendment right to speak about my own experience. And in California, the courts are the courts protect free speech, especially when it comes to sharing your personal story. I'm not making accusations of crimes or naming any names. I'm sharing my perspective and my court experience and my truth, right? This is completely legal and completely protected. I will put like the codes in the description below so nobody's like shocked at the fact that, you know, I can actually talk about things online, and nobody can stop you from telling the truth about how a court case or anything has impacted you. So if you're thinking about filing, here's my advice. Bring bullet points. Do not do long notes because the nerves will make you forget everything. Focus on the clearest example of direct harm. And remember that even though the judge says no, that does not erase your story. You still have other legal protections. You can document, you can report harassment, you can explore other cases like employment law, harassment claims, whatever is has to do with your case. Those are just 2 examples. This denial isn't the end. As I said, there's still like wins in there, guys. It's actually just part of the story. So yes, my restraining order was denied, but I walked away realizing that even in what had felt like a loss at that moment, and I was, you know, I was crying because like, duh, I prepared the fuck up for like 2 months and that happened. But there are wins, you know, there's courage, there's experience, there's freedom, there's documentation, and there's like some petty satisfaction. If you're going through something similar, I hope this video helps you see that a no from the court does not define your worth. Your peace, your healing, and your voice is still valid. Thank you for listening to my story. And if this video helped you, I'm glad, first of all, that it did. If you're going through something similar, I am sending you so much love and strength. And for those that want to end the video here, you can. For those that want to know the laws, I will put them in the description. But the federal and United States protections, the First Amendment, United States Constitution, that protects the right to free speech, including speaking publicly about your own experiences, as long as you're not, saying like, I don't know, what's an example? They took like a million pickups from the car shop. Okay, that's a lie. Like, you can't do that, right? But you're like, this is my truth. So, and the judge still has documentation. So there's that. Court proceedings are public by default. So under common law, the right of access to judicial proceedings, court hearings, including restraining orders, are generally public. So if proceedings are open to the public, you can speak about what happened to them. And that's what I did. Okay, so California Pacific, because that's where I'm at. California Constitution Article 1, Section 2A states that it kind of mirrors like the First Amendment in that sense, but often interpreted a little more strongly. Every person may freely speak, write, and publish his or her sentiments on all subjects, being responsible for the abuse of this right? This means that your personal story is protected speech. California Civil Code, it's like a SS. I'm blanking on the actual thing for it, but it's 124, and that court proceedings are public unless specifically that word closed by law. A restraining order hearing is not confidential, so you have the right to discuss it. Hence why I'm doing it, right? California Civil Code, that SS. Why am I blanking on the name of that right now? 47B, and that is litigation privilege. Anything you said in your court filings or in front of the judge is absolutely privileged. That means you cannot be sued for defamation for repeating what you've already stated in those proceedings, right? I did not state what I said in this video, but just so you are aware. California's anti-SLAPP. Okay, the other party tried to use a Yelp review against me. That's fucking laughable, first of all. Haha. Like, deadass. That's the funniest thing in the world. Like, a Yelp. Grow up. Okay? And that is, so California's anti-SLAPP statute code of civil procedure. And then it's the two, I swear I need to get the name of that. And that's 425.16, protects people from being sued for exercising their free speech on matters connected to a judicial process. If anyone ever tried to sue you for speaking about your experience, you could use anti-SLAPP as a shield. So in plain words, you're covered. You're covered to share your story. And with that, I'm going to end the video. Thank you for listening. Bye.